Welcome to this Toolbox talk, where we're going to be looking at how small errors can have disproportionately bad outcomes. The first example we're going to look at is a simple carbon block that runs in a slip ring on the back of a propeller on the Cessna Caravan. We know that this block is inspected regularly and periodically replaced when it wears out. But if you look closely at the carbon block, it has a curved surface and a flat surface. Now, in one of our programs, they installed the carbon block with the flat surface in the slip ring. If we measure the carbon block, we see that from the flat surface to the end of the fork is 80 thousandths of an inch difference from the curved surface. Now, this isn't enough of a difference to stop it being installed with the flat surface in the slip ring, but it was noticed that the gap between the beta feedback arm and the retaining pin was diminished, and the arm was touching the pin, but it was possible to install it that way. So it's good to be aware that if something looks different or looks wrong from how you've done it before, it quite possibly is. But on the next example we're going to talk about, we're going to learn how that in the same system another error caused an aircraft to crash. So in the next occurrence we're going to look at, we can see that a simple mistake in the installation of the beta feedback carbon block and the arm led to a catastrophic aircraft crash of a Beech 1900. This was a number of years ago. This wasn't a MAF aircraft, but we can learn from some of these mistakes. Now, what we're looking at here is a FAA safety advisory, and it details this accident, and you can read it for yourself, and it's very worthwhile reading. But we can look at some of the pictures and we can see some of the examples of what we're talking about. So if I scroll down in this document and come to a few photographs, and here we can see on the left hand side is the correct assembly of the beta the carbon block and the beta feedback arm. On the right hand side is the arm above the retaining pin, called the guide pin. Now, in this setup, if the carbon block came out of the propeller feedback ring, the beta valve could dump all the oil pressure from the propeller, and it could go into a fine pitch or feathered state, which is probably what happened in the accident for the Beech 1900, because it crashed shortly after takeoff. Now, the next thing which is interesting is another occurrence, which is on the next picture down, which shows the guide pin arm installed completely backwards. Now, in this scenario, if you came along to install the carbon block beta feedback arm, you may not even know that it goes under the guide pin because the pin is installed backwards. So this advisory just highlights some of these issues and is trying to get owners and operators to do a quick inspection of their aircraft to make sure that no more aircraft crash because of this reason.